Just a few boneheaded, walking, talking Neanderthals. We're ready.
Whoa.
We're doing it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Boys and girls.
welcome back to the Neanderthals podcast. It's been a while. I wonder, what was the last... let's see. When was the last time we published one? November 22nd was the last time we published one. So it's been over a month since we did one. But obviously a lot has transpired since then.
That's right.
Many things. Many things. I'm gonna cry.
Isabella is born to the world.
Born to the world.
Joy
Maybe she's
to
listening
the
to this.
world.
Wouldn't that be trippy?
That would be trippy.
Talking about the day she was born. So okay. We've talked like intermittently a little bit since she was born, but I haven't gotten the full breakdown of the whole story yet. So I want to know like what happened, like when she went into labor, what that day was like, when did your parents show up? Give me the story.
So, my mom came up on the 20th, which was Sarah's due date. She got here like in the evening. And then that night, Sarah went into labor at like midnight.
Damn.
So we waited around a while, put her in the warm bathtub for a while and yada, yada, yada. She's having contractions and we're timing them to see if we need to go to the hospital. And we call her doula and she comes over and eventually she's like, yeah, you can go to the hospital whenever you want now. They're close enough together that, you can go if you want. So we go.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point it's like 4 a.m.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. And which was fine with me because I was already on a bad sleep schedule, so I'm like wide awake. And
why are you on a bad sleep schedule?
I was just on a bad sleep schedule.
Have you been working at this time, around this time?
No. I stopped working like a week and a half before she went into labor.
And this was a decision made, like you just consciously were like, I'm going to stop working now?
I guess. Well, not exactly, because we've been low on work for a little while, right? So I haven't been working like full days for a while. And then, yeah. Anyways.
So, okay, go ahead.
Where was I? Sarah.
You go to the hospital at 4:00.
We're in the hospital. So Sarah's in labor, yada, 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 yada. The OBGYN comes in. She's like, okay, let's pop your water and get this going. And Sarah's like, no, you cannot just come in here and pop my water. And so the OBGYN then leaves.
Okay. Is that so? Wait, why does she not want to do that?
There was just no reason to do it, right?
Just there's no reason to force it other than just to move it
there's
along.
no reason to force it other than they're trying to get this all done. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I got you. So
and
I would totally want her to just feel safe. So whatever.
Yeah. So and once the water is popped, then if she like stalls out or doesn't make certain time or whatever, then they'll give her Pitocin. And essentially that it just leads to like a C-section if things aren't escalating the way that they want them to escalate. So she says, no, you cannot pop my water, which I was like, oh, go Sarah, you tell her.
Yeah, I bet Sarah at this point is just fucking pranked. She's like, you ain't popping my water, bitch.
It wasn't too bad at that point, and she hadn't had her epidural yet.
So is this an OBGYN like that you've been seeing regularly?
No, this is just the one that was on call.
Okay.
I think. So after a little while, she's like, okay, I really want an epidural. And so they give her an epidural and the pain subsides. She can still like feel a little bit, but it goes from like a 5 to a 1 or like a 10 to a 5. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which was good because that meant she could still like move her legs and move around and stuff and get into all different positions, which helped her progress through labor. And all said and done, it was like a 12-hour labor. So the baby is born, they pull the baby out, and that was mildly horrifying. So like
So you were standing there watching?
No, I was up at Sarah's head because she didn't really want me to like be watching the whole thing happen,
Fair.
which was fine with me.
Yeah.
And so I just see like the baby and then stuff, right? It's
Right.
like when you slit a deer open and guts just kind of come out.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it was like. And
It's
at
good
one
visual.
point,
Good visual.
at one point, so the OBGYN is in at some point, right? That she
Yeah.
comes in once Sarah's like ready to give birth. Like the baby's head is crowning. Like you can
Right.
see a good chunk of the baby's head. And she's like pulling Sarah apart with two fingers, and I'm up at the front of the bed, so I only see her like pulling Sarah apart. And then all of a sudden, her fingers just go, like left to right, she go whoop. I'm like, you just ripped my wife completely open. is what it looked like. It just whoosh. I was like, no. But I think her fingers just slipped.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, oh my god. But
My wife for this
Yeah.
child, but my wife.
it'll never be the same again. And
Oh God, is it all right, Izzy? If you're listening to this, just skip forward a little bit.
it is no, it's fine. It is what it is.
All right. Okay, sorry. Continue.
So, anyways, Izzy comes out. They clean her up real quick, give her to Sarah, and then her oh my gosh, what do you call the thing that encases the baby?
Amniotic sac.
Yeah, there's a different word for it though.
Okay.
Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so that comes out next, right? It's like second labor. And so like it's starting to come out, and then I see them like playing tug of war with Sarah over this organ that she has in her body. And I guess her cervix started like clamping down on it, so it was like not coming out, and they were playing tug of war with Sarah over her organ. It was And apparently it was really painful because like at that point she was like, can I have more drugs? And they're like, no, not right now. You're basically done. There's no reason.
We're in the middle of something.
Yeah.
So is Sarah like in agony right now? Is she crying? Like how? Like post birth, was she all right?
Yeah. Well, so like baby and then sac, and then she was all right. You know, like I think the sac was almost as painful as birth.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Seeing that makes you feel good to be a guy, right?
Oh my gosh, you have no idea.
Jesus Christ, male privilege does exist, and it's that.
My headphones. One sec. All right, there we go. Sorry, go ahead.
Male privilege exists, and it's that.
That is what it is.
That is male privilege. All the other shit they're talking about, that's false, dude. Oh God, periods. I ain't jealous of any of that shit. Honestly, women are wizards, bro. That shit's wild.
Yeah. And then, so a couple days later, speaking of male privilege, Sarah's boobs become engorged, and she's like, "Jake, touch my boob." I'm like, "You got it." And so I poke, and it's like rock hard.
Oh man,
oh, it's awful. Like, oh, I hate this.
Wow.
And it was
so she's
quite
breastfeeding.
painful.
She's breastfeeding. She's not gonna do formula.
Yeah, the plan is no formula. So she's breastfeeding, and then when she goes back to work during the day, well, we're building up milk reserves right now, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll go to a bottle then. But
right on.
Yep.
So Sarah's obviously in labor, giving birth, and you're clearly in the room with her.
Oh yeah, right next to her head.
And your mom is in the waiting room, or has the rest of the family joined by now? What's going on?
So just my mom was there at that point, and my mom showed up. Well, I sent her on some errands first. So Sarah really wanted sushi for after the birth, because you can't eat sushi while you're pregnant. Yep. Oh, I hear Isabella crying.
Are you home alone right now? Do you need to
No, I'm good. I've cleared 2 hours an hour minimum, but hopefully 2 hours more or less. So
okay, all right.
So yeah, my mom went and got sushi, got Sonic for me, and then she came, and shortly after that, she was just sitting in the waiting room probably 45 minutes more or less. And then I told her she could come in once we were all settled. But
so what time when did the rest of the family show up? Did both the families come?
Yeah. So both our families came. They weren't staying in our house, but So Sarah's family got there. I honestly don't remember the order of when they got there or when exactly they got there. Um, but they
Was it like the next day, the next week? Like
Yeah,
how
no,
soon?
no, it's like the next day or two. Both our Matt and my dad showed up, and then her family showed up also.
Right
But
on.
nobody could come visit us for a while because the day after Isabella was born, like a snowstorm hit, and
Oh wow.
yeah, so we were gonna go home like the next day or whatever, um, just because you can. But they're like, you should probably stay here because the roads were like not drivable.
Damn.
Yeah, it was negative 15 or 18.
Shit, that is cold.
Yeah, now it's like 60. So
Yeah. No, because that hit when that hit us, it was probably like I was in Corpus. I mean, because I was in Corpus at the
hmm
time, it was probably like 20 something. So
yeah, it was
definitely cold.
quite chilly.
Well, I'm glad there was no complications or anything weird happen. I'm
Yeah,
glad to hear that. I wouldn't want to have me as a child, so I'm glad none of that shit happened to y'all.
yeah, me too.
Easy peasy breezy.
You're a nightmare.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish NICU on anybody. That shit's
It's just
crazy. But
scary.
yeah. But so okay, so obviously you didn't leave the hospital next day. I don't know how long you guys
Yeah.
were in the snowstorm.
So we were in the hospital for 3 days, I think. It's all a blur, really. Like
Yeah, I bet.
it simultaneously felt like one single day and also 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's the
So
best way I can
when
describe it.
like were you guys was the nurse still like checking in on you for those 3 days? I'm
Oh
guessing
yeah,
because you
yeah, yeah.
probably still had the room
Yeah,
and
no,
everything.
we didn't get like any full sleep because they would come in and check the baby, check Sarah, and of course them coming in would wake me up most of the time, and
Right.
very little sleep, very little sleep.
So you took her home.
Yep.
A few days later.
Mm-hmm.
So how's your first go with the baby all alone?
The
I guess the family was still there though, right?
My mom's staying in our house. She's still here. My mom's still here.
She hasn't left since.
Nope, which is awesome.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, the first night was a little rough, I think. Yeah, it was a little rough.
Because
She was just up a lot of the night.
yeah.
And at this point, like my sleep schedule was like a little more normal, but like I'd usually sleep for a few hours and then wake up for a few hours and then sleep for a few hours. It was bizarre, but she just didn't sleep a lot that first night. But we got it kind of figured out, and she's doing okay. Last night was a little meh, just sleep, but yeah, it's been okay.
So just, hit or miss, however she's feeling.
Normally she's okay.
How long does she sleep for at a time?
So during the day, she is allowed to like sleep, be awake for 2 hours, and then she feeds, which she's awake for, and then sleep/awake for 2 hours, and then at night she has, hopefully she's asleep. Usually she's like awake, and then for the ass end of that 2 hours she's asleep, and then there's a 4 hour stint, and then a 2 hour stint, and then it continues there. So at night, like Sarah is getting an uninterrupted like 2 hour or 4 hours because she has to wake up every time right now just because we're not doing bottles. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Man, that's quite an adventure, I'd say.
It's been something.
I guess my dad. So I told my dad when you texted me, or I guess we talked that morning. I mean, you probably don't remember, but I texted you and you said wife's in labor. I remember my dad
Yes.
saying like, "Oh, that's a Christmas baby now," because she was born on the 21st.
Yep.
21st. So I guess you guys didn't really have to worry about like taking time off or anything. And you said you weren't working, but is Sarah going back to work soon, or like how much time does she get off from maternity leave?
She gets 6 weeks. So
Oh wow,
she gets a pretty good stint.
Right on. So you guys are all just at home watching the baby full time now?
Mm-hmm. It's like a 3-person full-time job.
Is your mom planning on going home anytime soon, or if you just like not ask because
Yeah.
you don't want to know?
I think she's gonna go home around the 15th. So
Wow.
that'll be an adjustment, but
Wow, you guess this is a good training opportunity. Your mom's
for
done it
sure.
twice.
For sure, for sure.
She's probably got all that shit locked down, huh?
Yeah, and she's helping like keep the house clean and cook and stuff like that, which is awesome.
Are you Are you? What was I gonna say? I don't know. Somebody texted me and I got distracted. Okay, so Izzy's born. Which actually, speaking of, I'm gonna put a picture. I don't have any pictures. Put a picture of Izzy in the Tarkov thing so we can put it up on the video.
Yeah.
To have it right. And if Izzy ever looks at this, she could find her baby picture right there.
Oh, actually, let me do it for my.
Are we calling her Izzy? Are you calling her Izzy right now? Or are you
right
sticking
now? I'm
with
just
Isabella?
calling her Isabella. When she gets older, I'll call her Izzy a lot more. I think.
Trying to like work it in, naturally progress.
It feels weird calling a baby by a nickname. I feel like. Because most of the time, if I'm saying her name, I'm going Isabella and rocking her up and down.
No, I get it. That would be weird.
Yeah.
It's like some dude. It's like somebody you've known for 20 years. Izzy, what's up?
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. That's funny. What's your full name? I know you told me, but I forgot.
Isabella Catherine Anderson.
Catherine.
So there's one picture.
It's a quality name.
There's another picture.
Where are you putting these pictures?
Tarkov maps. It looks like.
Hey, those are good pictures.
Yeah, and this is a picture right after she was born. All right, let me pull that up on my computer. All right, yep. So that is that. The first picture is me and Sarah a couple days ago. We took her for her second outdoor walk. I've got her in a little manly baby carrier.
I was about to say, it looks like you got a plate carrier.
It's basically a plate carrier for a baby.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, that's Isabella smiling, and she has had a little bit of jaundice, but it was okay. So she looks a little yellowy orange. And then that's her right after she was born. Once they cleaned her up and put her on Sarah, I took a picture. And she is awesome. blonde. Yeah,
I saw in the picture. One of the pictures you said you could see your full head. And I was like, this is a blonde. So she got your mom and your brother's hair, I guess, huh?
Well, I was born blonde too. She was born with more hair than I had, for sure though. But I mean, yeah, I was blonde.
I don't know when you know for sure. Is she gonna end up with Sarah's hair or like your mom's hair?
It ain't gonna be with my hair.
God, hope not.
There's blonde hair right there. You can kind of see it a little better.
Yeah. That's awesome. Look at your little fingers.
I know.
That's so cool.
She might have a birthmark right above her eye. Like, if you look at this smiling picture, you can see it's kind of looks like almost bruised, but the bruise hasn't gone away yet, so it might be like a birthmark. I don't know.
Above her left eye?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know either.
She looks like a happy baby. So she's sleeping in the crib in y'all's room right now?
Yeah, so right now she's in a little bassinet thing. And she sleeps there. She has to be strapped in so she can't like accidentally roll over. I have no idea how us as a species has survived. Like, with all of the precautions we take for her to not kill herself is incredible.
Well, I think the survival rate of babies has drastically increased. I think back in the day, you just pop out 12 and hope one of them makes it.
Yeah, for sure. But like, I mean, just the constant fear of her smothering herself is ridiculous.
Well, maybe it's just it's probably more likely being overplayed in y'all's head than the chances are of it actually happening.
Yeah. Like, I don't think it easily happens, but it happens. Like, yeah, so she has to be clipped into her bassinet so she can't like turn her head too much one way, and just because they don't have a lot of head control,
right.
Yeah, so if she did turn her head, she might not necessarily be able to turn it away. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Have you introduced the dogs to her yet? How do they feel?
Oh, they feel fine about her. They're mostly just like interested in her, especially when she's crying. They're like, "Why are you making these noises?"
We're not allowed to make noises. Why is this?
Yeah, what is wrong? What is wrong with you?
Yeah,
they're fine with her.
That's good. They're not like, are they allowed up close to the bassinet, or like you just
Not
like go
so
live in the room?
when we sleep, they're not allowed in the room because one time before the baby was even in the bassinet, Lucy like put her paws on top of the crib. And it's not like a super sturdy crib, you know?
Yeah.
So they're just not allowed in the room while we're asleep.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they're allowed to like come up and sniff her for a minute and then they need to go away.
I might start crying again.
No, it just they need to like learn their boundaries, you know?
Yep.
And we definitely don't want them licking her, so. Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So when's her first duck hunt?
Her first duck hunt. Let's see. Tomorrow I'm busy. The next, it's 2 days from now. No, I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna try
Get
and
her
get
out there
as soon as I can.
Yeah, like,
Probably
that way for the rest of her life, she can be like, I've been hunting since I was an infant.
2. Yeah. So, I don't know. I do want to get her out hunting as soon as I can. Hopefully she enjoys it. I feel like squirrel hunting would be like the prime, one of the prime like first hunts, because you're just like walking around the forest, you know.
No, yes, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
I feel like my early hunts are just some of my most vivid memories from when I was younger. You know, like,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't even pin down like what age. I mean, we're years away from this happening, but the point is some of my earliest memories are hunts. So
yeah,
I think those would be
one of my
fun.
earliest memories is when I lived in Missouri, up here, and I would have been like 4, I think, and my dad was quail hunting, and I walked. I guess it wasn't a very big field because my mom was there, and I walked out and met my dad, and the grass was like taller than I was. I remember that specifically. But yep.
Good memories. We need more female hunters, man. Gotta get them out there. Nah. Stay where you belong, women.
We got enough hunters.
Just
we probably just need more like I don't know, rabbit hunters maybe. I don't know, what kind of hunting do I not do? We need more big game ranch hunters. That's what we need.
We need more of them.
Yep.
So that
the public land will clear up.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That's what we need. So what have you been up to?
I don't know, not much. Let's see.
I mean, you had to be up to something. You've been in Corpus for a long time.
I was in Corpus for 2 weeks for Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so first thing that happened was, I don't know, I think last time we talked was like right after I shot my deer. The last time we did a podcast was right after I shot that deer. So shortly after that, my grandmother came to visit. And other than the days I'm working, like the weekdays, I'd be going back to, see my grandmother on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And she's kind of having some health issues. And Dad sat down with me and was like, hey, this is probably the last time she's going to come. I think we should just skip hunting and all that stuff while she's here. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So pretty much from all of December, we didn't do any hunting or anything basically but hang out with her,
Me either.
So, well, you had a kid. It's a little different. But, yeah, I just been busy with work when I'm in town. I've been kind of seeing a chick lately, so.
The same one you were saying last time we talked?
Different one, actually.
Oh, different one. Okay. All right.
Different one. But, yeah, so usually I've been over at her place when I'm in town. Although I haven't been in town much lately. I've been going to Corpus a lot. So, and then, when it was time for Christmas, I just went back to Corpus and then come back. So I haven't really been doing much. I did some duck hunting this past week because my grandmother left. Shot some birds, made some chicken.
Chicken?
But,
what?
Yeah, the general chicken I showed you guys. Didn't I send that to the group?
I thought that was duck.
It is duck.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. So it's like general chicken recipe with the duck. But yeah, not really.
Was it
not
good?
Doing much. Oh, everyone ate it. Like Kaya was eating a shit ton of it, which is, the sign of approval.
Yeah. Have I told you about the Mississippi roast?
Yes, you have.
Have I sent it to you?
An actual recipe? I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
so.
I'm gonna send it to you right now. I've eaten it twice now. It's fantastic every time.
Have you been cooking that deer you shot then?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, so yeah, I've got the first deer I shot is completely cleaned out and quartered, all in bags, and I still have the other legs in the freezer, so I'll take care of those probably soon.
Right on, right on.
Mm-hmm.
I've been eating a lot of that lately, just because we had so many from shooting two bucks this year. But I want to shoot another one, but I think our time's probably passed. I really want to do the rut this year because actually when the rut hit is when that cold front came through, and Dad and I had decided not to go, so
Yeah, I want to get out
missed
there
a
for
little bit of
one
that.
more hunt, but
Yeah, man,
we'll see.
I don't blame you. I'm
We'll see.
I'm chomping at the bit. I just want to go duck hunting more. Honestly, haven't been. I've been twice since the split, so I shot a lot of birds early, first split, but not a lot of action going on second.
Yeah.
But yeah. Other than that, nothing, no real life changing events. I didn't have a kid, so nothing like that. Oh, actually, I've been needing to ask you. Did you guys get the card my mama sent?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
We're
cool.
gonna send a thank you.
I don't even know if that's necessary, but I just want to make sure y'all got it.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty
Mom
sure.
asked me to ask, and I
Yeah.
had to ask. So
Yep, we got it. We're going to send a thank you. I'm 95% sure.
all right. Well, when I come up to visit here in a couple months, I'm bringing something for Izzy.
Oh.
Not sure what. I've been pondering what I'm gonna get a future duck hunter, future
Smart,
female duck
smart.
hunter. But I'm gonna get her a Remington.
That's what I'm talking about. No,
just we should just take a picture of her like fake holding a shotgun right now and be like, "This is
it better be a really small shotgun.
day one hunter,
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi pie roast." Oh, this is a meat eater recipe.
Yep. I heard about it on a podcast. I was like, that sounds delicious.
What cut he used for it?
Um, you know the piece that looks like a football on the
Yes.
back leg, yeah, back leg. That's a
Yep.
piece I've done both times now, and it's been mwah,
How long is it? 4 to 5 hours.
like 8 hours.
Oh, secure the lid and cook on low for 8 hours.
Yep.
If you need dinner fast, you can cook on high. Nah, who does that?
Nobody. But it is fantastic.
Mm.
And I like to eat it like on a taco or with some biscuits, or last time we ate it like over a potato.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because there's a lot of juices that you get from this.
Mm.
It's, yeah. So, do it.
All right, well, we'll try it. Got tons of fucking deer to cook. But yeah, other than that, no. I mean, this is my last month here in San Antonio, so
Is it really?
Yeah, I'm planning. So my last day at work is the 31st. Some in our lease ends February 9th, so probably like the first week of February, I'm take all my shit back to Corpus.
Yeah.
Then ride it out for a few months till med school starts, which I don't even know. I actually have a med school interview on Friday, so I'm still not 100% sure where I'm gonna end up. But
Who's this interview with?
University of North Texas, which is actually my top choice. I was surprised to get an invite this late in the game. This was my top choice of school, and I didn't get an interview invite at the initial wave of interview invites I got. So I was like, all right, I guess it didn't happen. And then I guess it was a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I got an interview invite. So
nice.
Yeah, that's on Friday. So I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to move to in the end, but
you're moving somewhere.
Moving somewhere. So instead of paying rent and living with fuckhead, I'm gonna move back to Corpus. And I talked to Thomas too about this, and he was like, "Yeah, Jordan and I are gonna move here after she graduates, so we're just gonna go back to Thomas's house, live there." So
aren't they moving to like Boston?
Yeah, she got a job in Boston. So yeah, you couldn't pay me enough to live there. There ain't no way.
That just
Could not.
awful. When he told me about that, I was like, I'm so sorry. He's like, why? I'm like, oh.
Thomas is different than you and I.
I know.
He's willing to put up with that. I'd be like, bitch, you ain't moving. There ain't no. I don't care. How much money are they paying you? No.
Not enough.
No fucking
That's how
way.
much.
Yeah. Let me tell you how much they'd have to pay you. There is no amount of money they'd have to pay you.
Millions. I need a private plane to fly away.
Yeah. I need to. You work in Boston, drive to the private plane, fly back to Texas to do hunting and fishing, all that stuff. That's how much money I need to live in Boston. But different strokes for different folks, you know. You gotta do what you gotta do. We're all kind of doing what we gotta do till we hit, you know, what I presume is our career paths, or at least like.
I'm officially I'm at it. I've met my goal. I'm officially a stay-at-home dad now.
A lot of work that took, huh?
Oh man, it was rough.
Oh shit. Okay, well, your wife. You know what I'm saying though. Like we all gotta. I might have to move to another state to go to school. I'm hoping to move back to Corpus when I'm all done with med school.
Yeah.
Find out.
We'll see where I get to.
You guys, you've been talking about it. How much? I mean, you guys just started, right? You got basically 2 years
at
left.
least 2 years. Well, most likely 2 years. So, we'll see.
Izzy was born in Missouri. That's gonna be a fun story.
So was Matt. None of us were born in Texas. Like in the Anderson family.
Nobody in my family was born in Texas.
Isn't it weird?
It is kind of weird, especially because of how much I am, or how much I feel like a Texan.
Yeah.
I love Texas. I don't know. It's just like, oh, you weren't born there?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I've contemplated getting a tattoo of it, but
of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we should get branded. That's a great idea.
Texas?
We'll just get Texas branded.
As long as I live in Texas, I'm okay with that.
So you won't get it now because you don't live in Texas?
Correct.
So if you live in Texas, but what if you have to move away from Texas?
Then I have a branding of Texas, I guess.
Why do you have that brand of Texas? Well, long story.
Greatest country in the world. Greatest country in these here states.
Man, I actually might get something tattooed here soon. I've been saving up money for one, so.
Have you found a good artist?
So I got two right now. One of them is from my buddy who has a couple from this guy, and I really like him. And I actually DM'd him on Instagram. And I was like, hey, this is what I'm looking to get, and blah, 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 blah. So I could do it with him. The only problem is he's in Dallas, which means I'd have to drive to Dallas to do it.
Yeah.
Which I'm not opposed to. The problem is I'm not I don't know enough about this to say is it worth traveling that far for a specific artist?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I mean, Sarah drove all the way to Austin for a specific artist. From Amarillo to Austin.
Okay, well then, yeah, maybe I'll just go to Dallas.
If you have an artist where you're like, this is exactly what I want, then drive as far as you need to.
Okay.
Because
right.
it's a permanent piece of art on you. You better like it.
Yeah, no, I get it. It makes sense to me. I just didn't know how much variation there is, but
I mean, I'm talking about this like I'm an expert. I don't have any tattoos, but Sarah does, and she did a lot of research on the artist that she want, and then she'd have me look at it and be like, yeah, I like this or I don't like this, and yeah, there's
Do you know how much she paid for her tattoo?
I think it was $700 or $800.
Yeah, okay. Very
good. It's half of her back.
Yeah, I'm the one I want to get at. After discussing with him, is he said, let me just pull up the message. He said, would need to be a half sleeve. I'd suggest taking it from the shoulder to the elbow.
What are you looking to get?
Well, I can actually. I'll just
put it in the chat.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, and then also make sure, he's sending you pictures of what it's gonna look like. Sarah, drew out a rough sketch of what she wanted, and the artist like took that and was like, this is what I'm interpreting from your drawing, and Sarah's like, that's good, you know, yada yada.
Okay, I'll do that because
Like, unless you have like an exact reference from the internet, but you know, Sarah's was.
well, this is a picture.
Oh,
Or a
okay.
painting. This is a painting.
Oh.
But the only here is I don't want it to be exactly like this, and I'm also open to something like any variations he think would look correct. This is just a starting point of what I want to get. I just have to. Where the fuck is the picture? Okay, there we go.
I would definitely like be like, hey, this is kind of what I want. Make something cool.
Yeah. Oh wait, I'm not taking.
So while we wait for you to get this, did you get any cool Christmas presents?
There we go. I got a gun.
Oh, this was like your background. You got a gun?
Mm-hmm. This was the background on my phone for a long time. This is a painting my grandfather got me before he died.
Yeah.
And I just figured it was kind of suiting because the actual picture, I don't know, the title of this painting, I guess, is the name of it is Grandpa's Blind. And I can like think of numerous times where I've been in this exact position with him. So I want to get something like this. It doesn't have to be exactly like it, but this is.
You want it as a sleeve?
Well, I wanted it on my arm because that's just where I want to get a tattoo. So obviously, like trying to fit that whole picture on my arm would be kind of an issue. So a lot of space, right? So that's why I'm kind of open to seeing like what we can't do, like what would be the best way to fit this. But this is kind of like the idea, mostly. It's not concrete. But yeah, I got a gun for Christmas. I got a 9mm pistol.
Nice. Have you thought about moving it to your back?
I don't want a tattoo on my back, mostly because I can't see it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I understand, like, want to do, like, this would probably do better, like, on my chest, like, because I thought about moving it to my
chest,
like one side of my chest and going towards my shoulder or something like that, like spreading it out more. But I don't know. I kind of want to talk with the guy more. I hadn't made up my mind. Like, this was just preliminary talks with the guy. Like, hey, this is what I'm looking to get. Would you do this? How much would it cost? Yada, yada, yada. So once I figure it out a little more, but there's nothing really to figure out. I think maybe once I'm done working, I'll talk to the guy again and see about getting it done. I also want to get something else done. Funny enough, so we have like a Sheely Ranch logo that my dad made, which I actually really love. Here, actually, I can put this picture in. And I've been slowly wearing Pops down to the point now where I think I can get him to do it with me. So this is like the Sheely Ranch logo.
Nice.
The SR, which I really like, and I want to get that tattooed somewhere. So I think I might do this first. And I was thinking about doing this on my chest and the other one on my arm, but I don't know. That shit's kind of expensive.
I mean, that one wouldn't be that much. I guess it depends on how big you got it, but I don't think that has to be very big.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, if I got Dad to do it, it wouldn't be very big. He's totally anti-tattoo.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he just like everyone he knows that had tattoos were fucking crackheads. Scumbags. But I also think that's because he associated himself with scumbags.
Yeah.
I don't think necessarily those things are just because there's a correlation doesn't mean causation, you know. So.
No, yeah.
But anyway, you ever thought about getting one?
Oh yeah, I've had a lot of different ideas I wanted, but a lot of them I grew out of. There's a few that I'd be cool with, but. I don't know.
What were some of the ideas that you're like grown out of?
Let me think. So, one of the first ones I kind of wanted was like in Aramaic or Arabic or something. I wanted my name. No, Hebrew. In Hebrew, I wanted my name over my chest. I don't know why.
All right. In case you got lost and somebody in Hebrew needed to find your name.
What were some other ones? Texas on my chest. I don't know if I've grown out of that one yet.
I want some Texas.
Anderson clan crest on my back.
That's not a bad idea.
No, it'd be cool. It's just it would have to be really big and really expensive and really painful.
Like bigger than Sarah's?
Yeah. I mean, to get like like the way I would want it it would be basically my whole back and like the trunk down my spine kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah. And then before the crest on my back, I wanted like the kind of Celtic cross on my back, which is kind of cliche, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like everybody at one point wanted.
Yeah, but it's because it looks cool.
It is. It does look cool. Yeah.
I've probably wanted different Grim Reaper skull-esque things before. I don't know. There's been a lot of things I like. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some things I'm still like, I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah.
Like I've always wanted to do like the come and take it or the snake. The
cut up snake. Like divided we fall or whatever.
Yeah.
United we stand. Yeah, the ones I've held on to the most closely would be like Texas over my heart.
Join or die. That's
yeah,
what it is.
Texas over my heart, and then Clan Crest on my back. But I don't know.
I want to get some. I love Texas.
I've also thought about doing Texas on my back and like having like a road map of where I've lived, you know, and like if it goes out of Texas, it just kind of bloop, 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 Missouri, you know.
We just did a brief stint in Missouri. No big deal. It'll be awesome though. Is like when we're 80 and they're so fucked up because we're old as shit. You can't tell what it says. And
just
you're like,
black blob.
Where did you go? What the fuck does that say?
Yeah. So
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know. Another thing is like I'm worried about. One reason I haven't done it yet for sure though is the med school interviews. I didn't want to. But another thing is I'm worried about, especially if I do the half sleeve like all the way down to my elbow.
You gotta wear like a long sleeve every day.
I don't. I mean, they're lightening up on those things nowadays.
Yeah.
It's not mattering as much, but I understand why that would be an issue. Like, I don't know how many people want their doctor showing up like a fucking, like, I'm gonna look when I'm old, like tattoo, long hair, beard, like that's not gonna be, or at least that's what I perceive it as. That doesn't necessarily have to be true.
Yeah.
Those are just some of the things I'm thinking about before making a permanent modification to my body.
Yeah. Yep, they're permanent and expensive. Well, mostly.
Maybe we should get like a Neanderthal or something. Nah, whatever. Fuck it. I'll figure it out later. I'm gonna do the same thing the guy in the video did. I'll just do a fish hook right on my stomach.
That was kind of cool.
I'll just brand it. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna have it forever. Like that didn't look like a brand. That looked like a burn in the shape of a.
That's what a brand is.
Which I guess is what a brand is. It didn't seem like that was going to be that permanent. I guess. I got a pretty good burn on my arm that I've had for a long time, but.
Yeah. And I mean, they kept it there for a minute, you know? Like, I think that's what really does. You really got to get that burn in there. You got to really give yourself third degree.
For a few seconds.
Yeah.
Scorch. All right, that's what we'll do. We'll do fish hooks.
Fish hooks? I thought we were doing
the
ranch logo, whatever that's gonna be.
Oh yeah. Well, we need to come up with the ranch logo then, man.
Yeah.
We gotta have a ranch before I get this branded on me though. No, we're doing it in February, bro. You gotta
Oh, let me see. Would you be down if squirrel season's still open? Would you be down to do a little squirrel hunting?
Of course.
Okay.
When would that?
Let me look to see if it's even open. I was just thinking about this the other day. I was like, because I haven't even I've gone quote unquote squirrel hunting, but not really gone squirrel hunting. I've walked in the woods with a 22. Let me see seasons: ducks, fox, rabbit, geese, rabbit, squirrel hunting. Ooh, February 15th. Maybe not.
February.
Wow, that's funny. So like it's February, and then it opened May 28th of this year. So there's a very short time where you can't shoot squirrel.
That's fun.
That's funny.
February 15th. How long you think I should, like, I don't want to intrude on your whole situation. So like a weekend, a week, like what am I allowed to stay? How long am I allowed to stay?
I mean, I wouldn't come for a short amount of time. I feel like that'd be a waste of your time and money. I don't know. You're fine however long you want to stay, a week, 2 weeks, whatever.
All right.
I will like if it was me, I would stay at least a week.
I will try to, because I'm thinking now, if the 15th is the 15th the last day, you said?
Last day.
So maybe the 8th would be a good day to leave. That's a week before the 15th. Because I would already be out of my apartment and everything.
Yeah.
By then, I think.
February 15th, 2023 is what it says.
So you haven't been squirrel hunting, or you have? I forgot what you said.
Not really. But
you gotta get you a coon dog, man. You gotta go.
Squirrel dog.
Squirrel dog.
I wanted to make Mud into a squirrel dog, but I don't know.
Is that it's too late for that, or what?
I think so. Like she's like already gun shy, and I didn't do anything to make her gun shy, so.
It's like an epidemic. Your dogs it's spreading.
Yeah. Well, with Mud, I'm sure it's like past trauma.
Oh yeah.
But
well,
yeah.
I feel like you can train that out though. Liv was probably beating the fuck out of her, right? And now your dad's taking her on hunts.
Yeah, she's kind of iffy sometimes though.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know.
I don't know either. I think one day I'm just gonna spend the money and get one. Get a
good dog.
Yeah,
get a good dog and get somebody to train the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I'll do that. Especially because I'm tired of chasing cripples.
Yeah, my dad's thinking about getting a lab next.
Hey man, if you spend the money to train them, or actually like stick to a training. Like my grandfather had dogs as long as I could remember, and he never paid anybody. He did the training himself, but that's just so much work.
It's a lot of work, and then if you mess up, well, it's just so easy to mess up because most people in their life only own 3 dogs,
Right.
So, yeah, it's really easy to mess up, and you don't have a lot of opportunities to get it right.
Right. Which is why this is also assuming I get the money to do this, but God, good Lord willing, I think I'd probably buy a puppy from a litter and then just straight into the trainer.
Yeah.
And then take her home.
I might do that next. I don't know. Because
costs a fair amount of coin though. I was doing some.
Oh gosh, it's expensive.
So I was actually talking to Dan about this because Dan knew all this stuff about local people because he was going to do it, and it was like $5,000 or something, not including buying the puppy or any of that stuff, just the training.
Yeah. I wouldn't limit yourself to local either. That's like when buying a dog.
Well, he was just talking about the trainer. Like this isn't anything to do with buying the dog or the breeder or any. This is literally just a local trainer. It was $5,000.
So. Well, that's what I'm saying is like don't limit yourself even like with trainers to local.
Well, apparently he was pretty good, but what the fuck do I know? I don't know anything about this. I would take his word.
No, I have no idea, but
I would think I would do my research before I throw down on
a lot of research.
But having a good hunting dog, awesome. I wish I could have a dog that would retrieve birds and trail deer. That'd be.
I tried to get my dogs to track that deer I got shot, and we never found it.
I actually did. You might have sent this to me. Somebody might else, or I saw it on podcast or something. But there was like a service you could call a dude.
Yeah, I probably sent that to you. Was it a Hunting Public?
Something
video. Yeah, they found.
But like you could call this guy and he would bring his bloodhounds out and find your deer for you.
Oh, I know about like it's a whole organization. Like you can like contact them on Facebook or something, and they'll send somebody out depending on where you live.
Wow, that's awesome.
You gotta pay them, I'm sure, but still.
Well, I mean, if the difference is no deer and deer, then it's probably worth it.
Yeah. And like I probably would have done that if the area I'd shot my deer in, if I'm almost positive this deer went onto private land. Just because that stretch that I sit in is like 100 yards long.
Right.
So he very, very likely went into private land, and that just would have been way more work than I was ready to do.
That's part of the fun of hunting, especially in Texas, where it's like if you're on private land, but God knows, if you're not on one of these mega ranches, you're probably right next to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So they just hop a fence and they're out of your reach. Usually you can contact the person or the game warden and do all that show. But if you're like us and the people hate us and shoot us if we try to,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like we've been talking about this. So we actually got a nail guy on camera.
I think I heard about that.
Okay, so I think I was talking to Thomas about this yesterday. So a while back, Dad and I were, because we had a nail guy on camera like once in a blue moon, right? It wasn't consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And Dad and I were trying to figure out, like, okay, what are ways we can get consistent nail guy to show up? And one way was feeding with certain types of like protein or alfalfa and stuff like that. But we also, my dad actually sent me this paper, and they were talking about uh, analyzing natural patterns of nail guy movement to see what kinds of characteristics of the environment promote them to go or to stay in one region, right?
Yeah.
And one of the ways that the paper proposed, or I guess the main way the paper proposed, was through what they called a communal latrine. So they they defecate in the same area, right? And one of the ways they said to kind of start your own or attempt to was by field dressing all your deer in the same spot. So like the organs and the guts and all that,
Mm-hmm.
I guess acts as sewage, which attracts other nail guys. Actually, they said the best way was to gut a nail guy in that spot.
I was gonna
Funny
say, like,
enough.
could you just go get like a bunch of shovelfuls of nail guy poop and put it in one spot?
I have no idea. Probably I didn't. I was at that time. I was like, this is dumb. I don't. What am I gonna do? I'm just gonna go find like nail guy poop and just start.
Yeah.
I don't know. But what we did take away from the paper is it's worth a try. And besides, we wanted to make one spot for field dressing anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So both the deer we shot this year we field dressed basically in the same spot.
Nice.
And this past weekend, Dad and I went deer hunting, and I'm walking out to the second blind, the far blind. So the spot, the field dress spot is halfway between the two blinds. So I'm walking out of the far blind, and I pass this clearing where we field dress the deer, and sure enough, covered in nail guy poop.
Really?
Nail guy tracks, nail guy poop, like crazy. I was like, holy shit, we actually did it. And then after the hunt, I grabbed the cameras, and sure enough, I got nail guy on camera consistently.
Can you tell
I can't
how
tell
many?
it. I think two, and there's one that's coming fairly consistently. I can tell by the stripes on her neck.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're also eating. We bought like some special like cow pellets or something from Tractor Supply because that's what Dad found online was supposed to be good for nail guy. So because the nail guy we were getting on camera before were, again, like I said, once in a blue moon, and they also weren't stopping to feed. It looked like they were just walking through the site.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just happened to be walking through that at that time. And in the camera pictures now, it looks like they're actually eating at the protein feed.
That's awesome.
We got nail guy on camera at the protein feeder, and it feels like now it's just any given day if we're sitting out there, kind of like with deer hunting, shooting one of these bucks we got on camera. Like any given day, you might get a chance. Whereas before, the nail guy was like the stars had a fucking line for you to shoot one,
Yeah.
and now it's like, well, we might actually have something here if we keep working towards it. Putting out that feed, maybe try to get something set up at that spot because. We set up a camera at that spot looking directly at where we field dress before we left. So I'm excited to see next time we go out there if we've got some fairly regular nail guy activity because according to the paper, once you've got the latrine started, it's kind of a self
as long as you don't kill too many of them.
Right, as long as you don't murder every nail guy, but like we shouldn't have to do that much more work or any work for them to keep coming to that spot.
Right.
Like the communal latrine has been formed, which is very surprising to me. Like you could tell there was poop from different like times of, or not times of day, but different days.
Yeah.
Like you could tell some poop was older, newer. Some was fresh, some was old. The tracks were old, some were new. Like you could tell it's not just like a one-time thing. It was they're coming back to that spot repeatedly. So
That would be so awesome.
I'd be so stoked to shoot a nail. Even a cow, I'd be stoked to shoot a cow.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm so jealous of Dad's one just fucking hanging on the wall. But yeah, I want to shoot one pretty bad. Actually, funny enough, I was talking to Dad. And he's like, if we don't shoot one, I'll pay for you to shoot one when you graduate med school. So I might get one regardless. But shooting one on your own property is just different. I can't shooting that buck,
Putting
even
in
though
a
it's not
little
like
extra work.
I feel shooting that buck, even though it's not a world trophy, like, you know, it's not a state record or nothing. I still like feel. I feel like I will never feel as much pride if I went and paid or like went to a high fence ranch, or you know what I'm saying. Like if I went and did one of those hunts, I wouldn't feel the same, even if it was 3 times the size of that buck, because of all the years of work we put into it. Like,
yeah.
And it's work I like doing too. It's not even like, oh, I gotta fucking do this. It's like, oh no, I can't wait to go out there. I can't wait to put corn in the feeders. I can't wait to go cut the grass. I can't wait to cut the trail. You know what I'm saying? Like that's part of the reason why I'm so adamant about doing this ranch, like expanding my land holdings, a land baron, if you will. Is I just know how much fun that is. So
yeah,
and that's something I want my kids to do. And, you know the whole spiel.
Builds
you feel the same way about it I do. Yeah, we gotta get Izzy on a deer. Gotta get her on her first deer on our property.
I told Isabella today, because I was putting like the shot collars on the dogs or something. Like, as soon as you can walk, you're putting these collars on these dogs.
Isabella, those collars on them dogs.
Come on,
we got coons to run.
We got coons to run.
Choose the tree.
She's gonna be working.
Oh man. God, that's crazy, man. You got a kid now. That's wild.
It is.
I can't believe the purpose of this podcast has come to fruition.
Now I have to keep this thing alive. This child has to live.
I thought you were talking about the podcast. The kid.
No, this kid has to live.
You're responsible for another life.
Oh my gosh. Like multiple times a night, me and Sarah wake up just to look and make sure she's still alive. Like, I'll go poke her on the face when she's sleeping sometimes just to get her to move. Because, like, you know, my ears ring, and so I can't always hear her breathing. So I'll like poke her on the face or blow on her face or something just to see her move. Which sounds crazy, but yeah, I don't
think it's crazy to me. Shit, I think that I can't imagine being responsible for another human being, at least one that's like can't take care of itself at all. Like there's no capacity. Can't even lift her head. Like what if she? She's not gonna be foraging for food. There's no way. So
it's crazy.
No, I mean,
so a couple nights ago, two nights ago, Sarah got up to go use the restroom, and she looks at me and she goes, "Jake, do you have Isabella?" And I was asleep, and I said, "Yeah." And I started rocking this thing up and down, and she goes to the restroom, and she comes back, and she looks down at the cradle, and Isabella's in it, and she goes, "Jake, do you have Isabella?" I'm sitting there rocking this thing. I go, "Yeah, I have her. She's right here." And in my sleep, it's a pillow in my hands, and I pull the pillowcase off my hands. I'm like, "Look, she's right here." And I'm like, as I was saying that, kind of like I woke up a little bit. I'm, what am I doing?
Just like sleep.
I was sleep rocking the baby.
Yeah.
And then
there you go.
Last night, Sarah woke up like 6 times. And she would be like, "Where's Isabella? Where's Isabella?" She's in the cradle. She's okay. Lay down. Oh, okay.
It's got the motherly instincts.
Mm-hmm.
Her ancestors had to fight like fucking bears from stealing their children.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. Oh, a baby would be such a nuisance.
Fragile.
Oh my gosh, a baby would get you killed.
How did the Native Americans do it? Like they're just walking around with babies strapped to them, like
a crying child would get you killed so fast.
It's just kid.
Ridiculous.
Just like your baby getting carried off by a fucking coyote or something.
Yeah.
That'd be.
I think they felt
these are
about
good thoughts
it different back then, though. Like, I feel like death was so common. that.
Well, because you're
different.
soon to be dead as well. Like you're
Yeah.
you're 26. Oh God, I'm an old man.
Man,
Well, I'm starting to
seen
feel it in my joints. The village elder is fucking 25 now.
Yeah.
And now that's a guy that works at McDonald's, and you're like, this guy's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You used to be the village elder. Do you know that?
Oh. All right, I have to pee, and we're right at an hour, so I think this is
This is a good time to end it.
This is a good time to end it. The music is going. The
All right,
stream
Izzy,
is about
I
to
hope
happen.
you listen to this. I hope you listen to this, Izzy. I hope